I have two questions for you. You see this tunnel system in Gaza? Has anybody ever seen anything like this? How do you build a tunnel system like that without the support of the people? You don't. You need a lot of people to build tunnels like this. They built the New York City subway system and more, and they did it without being detected. Where do you put all that dirt? How do you get all that cement in there? How do you do it in neighborhoods and under hospitals and under mosques and under schools? That means the vast majority of the population supported it because they had to do it. There's a horrific video circulating out there about a once vibrant young man who was captured by the Hamas subhuman monsters, minding his own business. Apparently he likes to play the guitar. He was at the Nova Festival, which means, quite frankly, he was young and quite liberal. And a lot of the young kids there, they were there at that event, not only to have a good time, but as liberals and people who would claim that they're for peace with the Palestinians and so forth. So they're among the most supportive of a two-state solution in the entire country of Israel. But it didn't matter, did it? The people at the kibbutzim that were slaughtered, they too were of the mind for a two-state solution. They worked with Palestinians, they hired Palestinians, they paid them nicely. They would have them for dinner from time to time or lunch from time to time. Palestinians who worked on these kibbutzim, they're like little communes, farms. They would bring their children. And so they thought they knew each other. The Jews certainly thought they knew the Palestinians, and yet many of them accompanied the Hamas terrorists on October 7th. And I have two questions for you that I don't think gets asked enough. You see this tunnel system in Gaza? Has anybody ever seen anything like this? How do you build a tunnel system like that without the support of the people? You don't. You need a lot of people to build tunnels like this. You ever have that when you were a kid, sort of that plastic type aquarium that's kind of thin, but it's an ant home? And they build all these tunnels all over the place. That's what it looks like under Gaza. They built the New York City subway system and more. And they did it without being detected. Where do you put all that dirt? How do you get all that cement in there? Well, how do you do it in neighborhoods and under hospitals and under mosques and under schools? That means the vast majority of the population supported it because they had to do it. It's just the way it is. My second question is, can you name one Palestinian who's come forward and said, that hostage is over there? Can you name one Palestinian who's come forward and informed the IDF or even some leftist that a hostage or hostages are over there or they're in the tunnel over there? I haven't heard of one. Have you? One? And yet a certain percentage of the population knows where they are because they're in their neighborhoods, underground, or wherever they are. A certain percentage would know. And yet, nothing. Oh, and I should add a third point. Every survey taken since October 7th, every one, says that if an election were held today, among all the Palestinians, Hamas would win. This is just a fact. Now, the young man I'm about to, unfortunately, show you, well, the fact of the matter is, many of you have already seen this. But if you've seen these old black and white pictures or films of the Holocaust, this young man looks like he's about to die, and he looks like he's from the Holocaust. You don't have to make up these pictures and videos the way the New York Times put a photo on its front page that was intended to deceive of this poor 18-month-old who had cystic fibrosis, and he was shriveling away. Horrendous. That child got the aid of the Israeli government that took him, that facilitated his treatment. I've heard two different countries, Jordan and Italy, but a country was unsuccessful, but nonetheless. And in that photo, you saw his mother. And with all due respect, it didn't look like she's missed a meal. And you saw, not in the New York Times photo, but as you broaden the photo, the actual photo, you saw his little brother who was not starving, who was not skin and bones. So that was all a lie. Now, it seems to me if you have widespread famine and starvation in Gaza, it wouldn't be hard to get a photograph of that. It wouldn't be hard to get a photograph of a Holocaust like black and white. Would it? Would it? But they don't show those photos. I also read a story this morning, preparing for this on my radio show, of a photographer who was in Gaza, who is creating photographs. I mean, he's using his camera, but he's moving people around. He's bringing in different types of people. He's creating a fiction about what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. There's only a few videos, a few photos of the Hamas terrorists underground, eating well, some of them fat as pigs, bragging about the food that they have. Why aren't there more? Because Hamas has stolen the food, and Hamas is selling whatever excess food it has at enormous prices in order to, on the black market and through border areas that they have, to purchase more weapons and to create more terrorists, pay for more terrorists. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on. And so Hamas releases photos and video of this young man who was captured, who's now 50% of his original weight. They say he's under 90 pounds. He's a 6'1" man, young man. And what they did is they thought that that would force Israel to capitulate to their demands. And instead it's angered the Israeli leadership and the people and those who still have a soul in the rest of the world, who are disgusted and appalled by what they see. And so, from our friends at the Christian Broadcasting Network, really one of the great news services, quite frankly. All my dealings with them have been fantastic. This will be just about a minute, but here you go.
The propaganda video released by Hamas Saturday shows 24-year-old Eviatar David barely able to stand. He points out the multiple days he hasn't been fed and digs what he describes as his own grave. Former hostage Ital Shaham confirms David was held in the same tunnel complex where he was kept. He says terrorists enjoyed air conditioning, cable television, and plenty of food taken from aid deliveries.
Even when I was there, it's a severe vitamin C deficiency. It's really, really dangerous disease. And from looking on him now, I really think that he doesn't have more than few days to live.
The video comes days after similar footage of 21-year-old Ram Braslavsky, a German-Israeli captive who said he was suffering unbearable pain and could not stand or go to the bathroom. European leaders, including the European Union, France, and Germany, have condemned the clip, saying Hamas must disarm and have no role in Gaza's future.
And yet, France and Germany and Britain and all these other weak, dying Western countries have ensured that Hamas won't do that, because they're all there arguing for a separate state for the Palestinians, which means Hamas. That's what it means. That's who they'll vote for. That's what it means. The terrorists will run the country. Nobody else will. There is no Mahatma Gandhi. There is no Martin Luther King. There is no great leader of peace among them. If there was, they would have been killed a long time ago. That's what we're dealing with.
For more, sign up for Levin TV.